First saw him on BET. You heard him love talking on WPGC. He's inspired the hearts of many on DaJour Live. And now, he's back on CBS Big Talk Radio. It's Conversations with Prince DaJour. And now, here's your host, Durek Prince DaJour.
Well, all right. Happy Friday to you, everybody. DC, Maryland, VA, all around the world.
All right.
All right, it's Conversation with Prince DaJour. So glad to be here, right here in the nation's capital. It's the sun of the city, 54 degrees, highs 55, lows 27, right here in the nation's capital. You can always give us a call at 301-794-5150. It's never the call. We'd like you to join our discussion. And of course, you can always say when we do this show, we just have a great time. We really do.
Yes.
We have a great time. My man James Brown. We have Tina Marie Young in the house hanging with me right here. 301-794-5150. Having a good time right now. We're having a great time. So this is what we're going to do. I want to give a couple shout outs right now. I want to give some shout outs to some people who've been reaching out to us on the Facebook. I want to give a shout out to all of our family and friends. Matter of fact, this show is really being supported by a lot of people on Facebook. Isn't it amazing how Facebook is just taking control over the world, you know? So we want to thank everybody who's emailing us, everybody who's sending us Facebook hits and stuff from all across the world. We've getting hits from London, okay?
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's some kind of tea house in London. They've been hitting us. I guess it's sort of equivalent to like Starbucks over here, you know? And so we want to give a shout out to a couple people right now.
Right.
You know, now everybody has a group of friends who always keep them laughing. Of course, most people see me as being deep and kind of conservative, although I am. A little bit of everything. You know, street, little psychological, little spiritual, philosophical. I call myself a multi-dimensional man, you know? I really am. That's just how God wired me. I can't help it. But of course, I have, you know, my fun bunch who keeps me grounded. I have a group of friends who really keep me laughing all the time. I want to give them a shout out. Wanda Marble, Greg Conway, Lavon Cookie Marshall. What's up, girl?
Right.
Kenya Hall and Feet Cat. I got to give love to them. They keep me laughing on a daily basis to keep me balanced so I can get deep with y'all later on. You know what I'm saying? Also, we want to give a shout out to Keisha Thompson over at Rosaryville Elementary School. She's teaching our youth right now. God bless the teachers of the world. I mean, you know, we don't give them enough credit for what they do on a daily basis, but enough love to Keisha Thompson, okay? Also, we want to give some love to a good friend of mine, Precious. She's actually went to Duke Ellington with me back in high school from the theater department. She's doing a one-woman play, okay? A one-woman play over at UDC, and it's called No More Drama, okay? Love Shouldn't Hurt is basically what it's called. For more details, you can check them out their website at UDC, that kind of thing. And we got to give a shout out to my man, Nicholas McDowell, okay? He's over there at Holy Cross Hospital.
All right,
Holy Cross Hospital, they're over taking care of my man. Y'all take good care of our brother, okay?
Yeah.
Nicholas McDowell, love for you, man, hanging there. A speedy recovery and definitely much healing to you. And we can't forget about the HSE family. We got to give them some love as well, okay?
We appreciate the love.
So this is what we're going to do. As usual, we always have more information than we do time. You know, did I say Happy Friday already, Tina?
Yes,
I said Happy Friday.
Did. Absolutely.
Oh, and of course, we're hanging out with my man James Brown, okay, and Tina Marie Young, who's right here, my publicist and production coordinator. So
glad to be back.
I think we can. Oh, no doubt, she's ready. Tina, you over there partying like it's happy hour or something.
I'm feeling
you know?
good.
Well,
It's
you know
Friday.
what? Since you're over there jamming like it's happy hour, we're going to call this the official happy hour on radio.
All
okay?
right.
Whenever
like
we do
that.
this show, because this is an hour-long show, this is the official happy hour. Now, I've been to many happy hours all across town. Back in the day, I'm old school. Oak Tree, the classics. You can tell I'm old school, right? But I can't recall, James Brown, you can help me with this. I never recall ever coming out of there feeling happy, even though they called it happy hour.
You're right.
Matter of fact, it made me unhappy because of some other issues, and that's a whole nother workshop. But the truth of the matter is, this is one happy hour where you would definitely walk away feeling healed, whole, feel love. You get your natural high.
That's right.
You get some good information that you can use on a regular basis, all right? Some tools that you could use. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our conversation for today. What are we talking about today, Tina? What's the topic for today?
We're talking about the high price of love, excuse me. I'm sorry. Look, sorry about that. Look, it's the high price of low self-esteem. All right.
Okay.
Look, I'm so excited over here.
Look, this is love
I can't even
radio.
get my words out. What can
and
I
you know
say?
What's interesting about that? We've been talking about love so much in the past two shows. Love this and love that.
Yes.
And so we talk, well, you know, and it's interesting, the high price of low self-esteem, okay? And what's interesting, you said the high price of love, but that's really the same thing, the high price of low self-esteem, the high price of love. Self-esteem has a lot to do with how we love.
That's right,
how we love,
absolutely.
okay? It has a lot to do with that. So our topic today is the high price of low self-esteem. Now, first of all, let's go into sort of the Webster's Dictionary and define what self-esteem is really all about. Now, self-esteem is a term that's used in psychology. It is a psychology term A lot of people probably shocked to find that out, but it's a psychological term, which means that how you esteem yourself has everything to do with your state of mind and your state of emotions because it's psychological, okay? It has a lot to do with the overall evaluation of yourself, the appraisal of yourself, and of course your worth value, okay? It has a lot to do with that, your worth value. And so that's what it's really all about. Self-esteem has everything to do with how you value yourself, okay?
Absolutely.
And so what we want people to do is feel free to give us a call at 301-794-5150. That is the number to call. And so we're dealing with self-esteem. Now, something that, Tina, I don't know if you can relate to this, but something that my mama used to tell me and my grandmother. The phone lines are ringing right now. People are calling in. Look, it's amazing. They just instantly just start.
Right.
Look, it sounds like a telethon in the
ready.
background. The phones are ringing. But my mother used to always say to me, everything in life costs something.
Yes.
Everything in life costs something.
Right.
Nothing
Your
in
mother
life
was
is for
right.
free. And that's true. No matter, even if you think that you're getting it for free, there's nothing in life is for free. Everything costs. And our topic today, the high price of low self-esteem. I really wanted to talk about this because I think it's killing a lot of relationships, okay?
Without question.
Low self-esteem is a deadly killer. It's a silent killer. Just like cancer, just like AIDS, you may have the symptoms, but not really know that there's symptoms, and you've been carrying this thing all along until you've gone to the doctor and they've diagnosed you with cancer or some sort of illness. Well, I'm diagnosing today as your love doctor.
All right.
I'm diagnosing everybody, including myself, because I mean, hey, we all have some measure of low self-esteem in us and around us, and it's affecting our relationships, okay? It's affecting our relationships just a little bit. And so it's a silent killer. A lot of people don't realize that they have it. They just don't understand that it's definitely a part of their relationships, and a lot of people are suffering from a bad case. Now check this out, Tina.
All right.
They're suffering from a bad case of insecurity. Now, you may say to yourself, what does insecurity have to do with self-esteem? It has a lot to do with it. Self-esteem is the root problem, is the root cause of a lot of things going bad in relationships. But when you branch it from self-esteem, one of the fruit that it bears, okay, in terms of low self-esteem is insecurity. You look at the word insecurity, you see the word secure. A lot of people don't feel secure within themselves. And it's not just because of your husband or your wife, your boyfriend or girlfriend. It has a lot to do with how we were raised in the family environment.
No question.
Whether maybe you've been abandoned by your dad or your mom, or you've been rejected, and people tease you. You're too fat, you're too skinny. You're not pretty enough. Look at this. And so they give us sort of an inferior complex about ourselves, and we don't really love who we are. In some cases, you come from a good family and they've taught you all the great skills, but you personally just don't like who you are. You don't like what you see in the mirror. And so a lot of people have self-esteem from that regard. And then you have a lot of people, when you think about self-control and you think about self-esteem, we deal with control. And this is deep for all you lovers out there. You don't want to miss this, because a lot of you are in relationships and you don't even really know that the person's self-esteem is low, but they have a controlling spirit. Have you ever dated somebody where they always trying to tell you, call me every day at this time? They want to know where you are every breaking moment of the day because they're insecure. And what they'll try to do is, you have two different types of insecure people, right, Tina?
Yes.
You have the kind of people who will say, well, I'm insecure. Where you been? Where you going? Who was you talking to? Is that a girl calling your cell phone?
They always trying to keep tabs on you.
Or the guy may say, well, who was that guy calling you? He's a coworker, he's insecure. But then you have the very brilliant kind of insecure people. The brilliant ones, these are the kind that can mask it very well, and they know that you don't really want to be with somebody insecure, so they'll mask it and cover it up. And they'll make it seem like they're just more concerned for you and not insecure. So what they'll say is, I'm not insecure, but if you don't mind, James Brown or Tina or DaJour, if you don't mind, just call me every day around 4 o'clock. I just want to check on you just to make sure that you're okay. Basically, what they're still saying is that I'm insecure, but I'm phrasing it a different way, because I don't want to turn you off, okay?
They got that low jack on your back.
They get that low, I like that. That low jack on your back, a GPS system. They want to know where you are. And so, again, the root cause is usually low self-esteem. And low self-esteem is kind of like a tree. Am I right, Tina?
Oh, absolutely.
Low self-esteem is like a tree. And it's bearing, what's strange about most trees bear one type of fruit or the other. Either you're an apple tree or you're an orange tree or whatever. But when you're dealing with a person who has low self-esteem, they're like a tree with no roots. They're not being nurtured and fed properly through the roots. They're not rooted in anything. But instead of bearing one type of fruit, they bear apples and oranges all on the same tree.
Wow. And look, when you think about that, that's not even natural.
You know what? That is so true. That's not natural at all. Matter of fact, it's not even supernatural. It's just strange. Matter of fact, my mom and them used to call it strange fruit. Back in the day, they called it strange fruit. And it's not natural. So people with low self-esteem, they don't always appear to be the kind of person with their tail between their legs, or they're holding their heads down, feeling timid and insecure and shy. That's the old school insecure person. The new brand people, and this is for all you new lovers out there. You need to really make sure you are able to identify who you're dealing with, for the men and for the women. The new school people have caught on to that people shy away from people like that. They don't want to be in a relationship with controlling, abusive people, okay? So what they do now, they say, I'm not controlling, I'm not abusive, I'm just saying, I care so much for you. Call me every day at 5 p.m. I need to know where you are, because they're really insecure and they feel uncomfortable. They're so afraid. And many people who've been hurt by these type of relationships, they're so insecure and so afraid to go into new relationships. They're afraid to try anything at all because they've been scarred and wounded. And if you're going through this today, this show is absolutely for you. We want you to be able to be healed from your insecurity. No matter what people have said to you, that you're not attractive, that your body doesn't look good. The guy may tell you that you'll never be able to love again. No man wants you. You're ugly. You're fat. Look at those stretch marks. They'll tell you the meanest things to try to kill your self-esteem. The ladies will tell you, hey, you're not going to be anything one day. Sometime with the ladies, though, women don't seem to be as verbal as men are in some cases.
Right.
Men will verbally come out and say, you're ugly, you're fat, nobody wants you. Women sometimes will just be silent.
Yes.
They won't say anything at all. The silence kills a man more than harsh words. So when the man is trying to write a book, or if the man has an idea of a business, she just won't even show you that she's supporting you at all. She won't say anything. You'll say, wow, didn't she know that I'm working on this? Or you come home all excited, baby, I got a new business plan. Me and the fellas got together, and she'll just say, oh, that's nice, and keep on walking. You're thinking, wow, that daggers him and it will kill his self-esteem.
Absolutely.
And so these abusive things have a lot to do with how people feel about themselves. It's not always about how you are or how you are not. It has a lot to do with all of that. And of course, everything costs, okay? Love costs, and it doesn't go on sale.
That's right.
I think
And
I need to
it's
say
not
that again.
cheap.
Love is not cheap. It costs, and it doesn't go on sale, and you get no coupons for this one, baby. Matter of fact, you have to pay the full price. If they tell you that love costs $4.99, you have to pay $4.99 plus some tax,
There you
okay?
go.
And
That's
so
what I'm
a lot of
talking
people don't
about.
understand that there's something to pay for everything. Just like when you're buying a house or buying a car, a lot of us always try to live above our means.
Yes.
We go out here and buy cars that we really can't afford. We buy clothes that we can't afford.
That's
we buy
right.
homes because we want to impress other people because of our own self-esteem. Now, a lot of people may say, well, I got a Mercedes. My self-esteem is cool. But that's because you still have the Mercedes.
That's
but if they
right.
take it away, would you be willing to still catch the bus?
The repo man.
Yeah, if you be still, that's right. Would you be willing to still catch the bus and subway and still hold your head up high? See, what determines where you are if you want to gauge your self-esteem is not why you have the things. It's when the things are taken away that will determine
There
how
you
much you're
go.
really strong or not. I mean, it's
Wow.
easy to say I'm good. I don't need a man. That's because you got 2 or 3 of them. Okay, I don't need a woman in my life. That's because you got one that you can call at random.
There you go.
But if you
There
pull
go.
that cell phone out and all of a sudden the numbers go blank, or you drop your phone in the toilet and the phone don't work, people go crazy when they lose their cell phones.
You're right.
So these are the kind of things that you can gauge to see exactly in effect and show exactly where you are on love's radar, okay, on love's self-esteem radar. That's what you have to do. Imagine, again, buying a car you can't afford. Imagine being in a grocery store, okay, and putting all your items on the cart, James Brown. How many people go to the grocery store and then figure out, oh, let me see if I have enough money to pay for it?
Too many of us.
That's true, but most of us, or how we should do it is, you need to figure out how much money you have to spend, and then you go and put the items in the basket at the grocery store, okay?
Right.
And love is exactly the same way. We need to start choosing our lovers and our mates like we buy grocery. We need to figure out, do I have enough to pay the price for this product?
Wow. That's
Many
deep.
of us choose men that we can't really afford to stay with. So you try to get a man who's way above where you are, and now you can't handle him. Or fellas, you try to get a lady who looks a certain way and she's really out of your league. And now you have to spend money trying to keep her happy because she's a material girl. And now you really didn't want to tell her you can afford to buy those shoes and that purse.
We can
but,
all relate
But
to
because your
that.
self-esteem is low, now you have to try to purchase something that you cannot afford. So imagine being in a grocery store. You're in a checkout line, and not only are you embarrassed because now you don't have enough money to buy your grocery, you're also holding up the grocery line. And love is the same way. Now you actually have a good man or a good woman that you really can afford to help and keep. The man deserves to be loved a particular kind of way. The woman deserves to be loved a particular kind of way. But now you're stuck in a relationship and you all emotionally jammed up in this relationship that you can't get out of. All because you purchased something that you couldn't afford, but now you got to keep it. Have you ever brought something, Tina James, and now you can't take it back to the store because you lost your receipt? And now you stuck with it.
That's right.
And every day you look at it, you mad at it because you said, I should have never brought that car. And now you got to pay the insurance and get the oil change. Well, relationships are the same way.
That non-refundable item.
Okay, well, look, you have that non-refundable relationship. Thank you. You can't take it back because you lost the receipt a long time ago because you thought that it would always be the way it was when you first got it, baby. But the reality is that, guess what?